Hey everybody, are you ready to paint your shoe? Here we go. We are going to start with our box of watercolor ovals. We need a cup of water, and I have filled this only about halfway with water. So when I spill it, it will only spill half as much as it could. Then I have my picture that is all filled in with color, and I've got my pack of paintbrushes here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick the biggest one. If you look at the side of it, it says it is a size 10. So you see a 10 right here at the very top in white. That's the size we want to use. The rest, they can go off to the side for right now. And I'm gonna start by saturating my brush really well with the water. And I'm gonna show you how we can create some colors. You don't have to use colors directly from here onto the paper. You can create colors that you want. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. And I want to create a color that's gonna be like a reddish purple. So this is how we do that. I'm going to dig into my purple here and just saturate it. Then I am gently rubbing the paint. I'm not trying to dig into it. You know, watercolors, you use very, very little. And you use the reservoirs in this tray. You can see there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You use those for your colors. So I'm going to spread that color right in there. I'm going to pick up some water. I'm not going to rinse my brush. I just dip it in, let water absorb into it. The paint stays in there, and I use the little wall of the reservoir to brush that water off to get it in there, because I need this to be really watery and really wet. The trick is to use just a little paint and a lot of water and spread it throughout. It should always look kind of watered down. That's the whole idea with watercolors. We're not going for something super thick and dense like you would with tempera paints. Okay, now I am happy with the amount of water that's in there. I did want to clean a little bit of paint off my brush so I could jump over here to another color. I'm gonna say hi to this red right here. Get a little bit on my brush, as you can see, and then dab that into that purple that I had started with. And now that I've mixed that in together, I've got a new color, something that is more close to what I wanted. If I want the color to get lighter, I add more water. If I want it to be darker, then I can do one of two things. Add more color to it, or I just take the color and directly paint onto the shoe. With watercolor, you gotta use this pretty quickly, because as soon as it goes on the paper, it's starting to dry. So if you really wanna spread it around, here's the trick. You ready for this? This is the best. Clean your brush and get just clean water on there. Where do I wanna put that color? I'm gonna put that color over here in this yellowy striped area right here. So I'm going to put just clean water in this area. Here we go. And now that that's wet, I'm gonna dip into my color, and that is going to spread around more easily in this area. And it's light. It's not gonna be really, really dark, everybody. You don't need it to be. You can go over the colored pencil, but if it was dry, it's gonna use up more paint. Now I'm going to paint with just paint and not wet this at first and show you the difference. Hopefully you'll be able to see the difference. Can you see how that's darker? So when that goes on, just paint with no wet first. It's a darker color. So when you add water first and then paint, that's called wet on wet. If you just add the paint to the paper, that's just painting. So there you go. If you do go over a section of colored pencil with your paint, make sure you go over the other section too. It seems like it wouldn't make a difference, but it will. You're going to trust me on that. So, and there you go. And that is how you're going to paint using your watercolors. Now, how are you going to make your color choices? Well, there's a couple ways to do that, of course. You can always refer to your color wheel. Look at a color that is in a section. I have blue right here. So a great complementary color to put for paint in there would be orange. That would look really nice. I've got some green lines here, and I could put some red there, but I already have pink right here, so I don't think I want pink and red right next to each other. I also don't want to paint an area in right next to an area I just painted, or those lines will blur and colors will go into each other's sections. So skip an area and go on to another that is not near the one that you just painted. This is orange. I'm thinking some blue would look really good right there. So I can either use a blue directly from here or not. But always keep in mind, if you are going directly from the oval and you've got it nice and wet, you barely need any paint. So please, please, please be conservative with your paint, because look at that. Do you see how bright that is already? We want these paints to last. Add a little water, and you can actually pick up paint that's from the paper. You don't necessarily have to go back to the oval. If you want to wet this first, if you're really wanting to save that color, you don't want that color to run out in your paint tray, wet your paper first, then go to the color, and then add water and spread that around, and you'll really maximize the use of your paint. There we go. All right. Have fun filling this in with paint and color. You know, you can also bleed one color into another color by putting them next to each other in wet areas, if that's something that you want to do. Have fun with it, and I look forward to seeing them when they're done.